Simon, a massive stage and you go so close to the ladder leaders. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I guess it was what a game. First up, it was a cracking game of footy, and credit to Collingwood for getting the result. I thought, what's a pretty special day, obviously, for the Big Freeze, for MND, for Neil. It was a very special day for not only our footy club, but for everyone in football. And I think the game matched it. It was a cracking game of footy, and unfortunately, someone's got to come out on the receiving end, and that's us today. But there's a lot to like. I thought we played like winners all day. I thought we hung in there and continued to play our way for as long as we could, and we just fell short.
Is it mixed feelings, the fact that you took it to the team that's leading the competition, but you fall 1 point short and don't get any reward?
Yeah, obviously when you lose a game, you're obviously disappointed and frustrated, and there's that emotion of losing. But that's really, if you look at just pure outcome. For us, it's as much about outcome as it is about our process and our belief and our ability to keep improving as a team. And we're evolving and changing, and I think today showed that we can certainly match it with the best in the competition. And we've been able to do that over the last sort of 5, 6, 7 weeks. That we've been able to show up in most games and continue to challenge some of the better teams. And if we keep doing that, we keep playing the way we're playing, we keep improving the way that we're improving, we'll continue to get the outcome that we're looking for.
What did you make of the exchange between Gawn and May on the siren?
Two competitors that frustrated, two leaders that got an incredibly strong relationship that obviously disappointed with the outcome. But as I've spoken to the whole group about that, be disappointed in the outcome, but keep working on the things that'll keep making us better.
Do you address that exchange specifically with those guys? Or
they've moved on already. They're in there having a good chat about it, and they've moved on pretty quickly.
What about Gawn, the kick that went wrong in the last 30 seconds? Was it the right call to go back inboard? He's trying to win the game. Yeah,
obviously, 40, I think it was 47, 45 seconds left on the clock, trying to get the ball to the open side to give us a chance. Obviously didn't quite come off the boot the way we liked. But they're the decisions you make with 45 seconds to go. I thought the whole last quarter was filled with moments, and moments that they probably just got that one or two better than us on the day, and we're able to maximise those opportunities. So, obviously people look at that kick, but you're deep inside your last 15 metres and you're trying to create something for the team. Certainly understand the thought process, just a little bit of execution.
You had a lot of inside 50s in that second quarter in particular. Was it something that was Collingwood just applying too much pressure, or you didn't capitalise on the opportunities that you did have?
Yeah, I think that's, Collingwood apply pressure, and sometimes when you're playing those types of games and, the team that Collingwood is, they pressurise the ball incredibly well, and sometimes you just, don't quite see the numbers and the opportunities and the ability to just connect that little bit better when you get your opportunities. And you're right, that second quarter we felt like we had good control in the game. We just weren't able to maximise it on the scoreboard, and there's going to be moments in games where you have those opportunities, and just can you do that just that little bit better? That 1 or 2 goals can make a massive difference at the end of the day.
Can you take us behind the thinking of the Ed Langdon tag? It seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, look, we've got enormous respect for Nick. He's clearly a really important player, and we thought Ed just is such a diligent player, but he's got an enormous tank, and he's got enormous speed, and they're two things that you need when you play against Nick Daicos. And credit to Ed, he put a lot of time into preparing for that role, and he got the job done. Obviously Nick didn't have the impact that he would normally have, and it gave us a great chance to win the game.
How do you weigh up that balance? Because Daicos was in the centre bounce, not by himself, but without Langdon, and then he'd pick him up on the outside. How do you make that call? Yeah,
look, centre bounce is something that we wanted, is one of our real strengths. And, we feel that we've got a great combination that have been able to go in through centre bounce and get the job done for us. And that's where the team role comes in. We play as a team, and we go to our strengths, and we try and minimise the opposition's strengths when we think they've got them. So in transition, we thought Nick was going to be a huge influence in the game, and just to put him under pressure and to have someone with him was really important to us.
Something Langdon will do more often, or is it just you needed him for Daicos?
Yeah, look, we've sort of mixed these roles around a little bit, and we've been able to share the load, whether it be Jack Viney, Clayton Oliver, Trent Rivers, did Isaac Heaney, Ed Langdon, obviously today. So depending on the type of player and where we want our team to be on the day, we'll continue to share those roles. They're important roles to get done, and we've got now 4 or 5 guys that can do it through the middle of the ground.
How do you feel your place now at this sort of halfway point of the season?
Yeah, obviously, we feel that we've improved our game to a level where the outcome will start to be more prevalent, and we've been able to do that for a period of time now. But we think right now where our game's at, where our personnel's at, and the ability to keep improving, that our potential's still untapped. And any team in this competition in the back half of the season can get on a run, and we're looking to be one of those teams.
Are you likely to get Viney back for your next game?
Very confident that he'll be right, yeah. Obviously, he's got a bit to work through, but he's done a power of work, and we're confident. Thanks, guys.